Jeffrey has no idea how to attract girls. He tries to convince them to like him by appealing to their logic.
Oh, but we've been friends for like 6 months and I've been so nice to you and I know what you like and you want a guy like me, right?
Jeffrey, don't you know that attraction isn't logical? Adonis knows exactly how to attract women, just like Pakistani men know exactly how to evade taxes. He knows that attraction is emotional. Because of that, Adonis spikes every emotion inside of women, and that's what makes him so attractive. Attraction isn't logical, it's emotional. So if you want to be good with girls, just understand this. I'm going to give you the tactic right away. You need to spike, to trigger as many emotions inside of a girl as possible. The safe Jeffrey version of you thinks that he should just try to make girls feel good. And he always tries to align to that. So then he plays it safe. He doesn't actually talk about his real honest opinions. He basically changes himself to try and make her feel good. But that's actually boring to the girl. And you can do a lot of things to women. You can do a lot. The one thing you cannot do is bore her. So the Jeffrey version of you, like the weak beta male little version of you, if you play it safe and you just try and make her feel good, she gets bored and she leaves. What you need to do to become the better version of you to get girls is to have the relaxation to say, you know what, if I anger her, if I piss her off sometimes, if I upset her sometimes, if I excite her sometimes, if I shock her sometimes, she will actually like me more. The mistake that most guys make is that they play it so safe because they're so scared of basically spiking an emotion inside of a girl that's kind of negative. What they don't realize is girls kind of like and they kind of thrive sometimes feeling kind of negative and angry and complaining. If she's negative and angry and complaining about you, that's not like a terrible thing. The thing you should be actually worried about, which you'll remember like back in the days you were in school, is if the girl's not thinking about you at all. If she's not thinking about you at all, she's not into you, that's it. If she's thinking about you so much throughout the day, she's constantly thinking about you, naturally some of those thoughts will be a bit negative, like, oh, he hasn't replied back, and he was a bit rude this morning, and he did this, and he did that. Some of the thoughts, or a lot of the thoughts, will be also positive. Oh, he's so handsome, oh, I can't wait for him to reply back, whatever. You've got to get out of this childish, this boy psychology of thinking that you've always got to make girls feel good. That's like a scared little boy, weird little inferior, insecure complex. So many guys on the internet, you'll see them, especially like, little neckbeard, little Redditors, Jeffreys. They'll do whatever they can to try and make a girl feel good and never make her feel bad. And then the girl doesn't want to be with them. Because that's basically so demasculizing. It's so childish to think that you've got to basically act in a way that makes her feel good. Let's say on a micro scale, this is like you're in a conversation with a girl, and she talks about something that she doesn't like. The boy little Jeffrey version of you, let's say you like that thing. So she says like, oh, I don't like guys who do this. And let's say you do that and you actually genuinely do the thing, whatever she's saying. But because you don't want to piss her off, you say, oh, okay, well, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, guys who do that are really weird. What you're going to do is just keep her emotions just at this like weird, androgynous, dry mid-level where she never gets spiked in either direction because you're playing it safe. Now let's say she's next to a Chad who's got like abundance. She's next to like a guy who's like Adonis. He's got abundance. He doesn't really give a shit about her that much right now. She says, I don't like guys who do that. And he looks to her and says, I do that. Her emotions just like, oh, what? You do that? Oh, I don't like guys who do that. But she's going to think about him more. You might think that's a bad thing because she's thinking bad thoughts about him. But I'm telling you right now, when she's thinking about you more, she'll be way more likely to fuck you. I'm telling you, understand this. You do not want girls to hardly ever think about you. You want them to think about you as much as possible. The quantity is actually what matters here, not the quality. Girls who think about some guy who's pissed them off a lot, they will sleep with him. I'm telling you right now, your beta male brain is telling you, no, but only if they think positive thoughts about him. No. If they think angry thoughts about him, if they think disgusted thoughts about him, if they think pissed off thoughts about him, they are still more likely to sleep with that guy, even though those are like, naturally negative emotions. You believe that you've got to make her feel good, but the guys who fuck know you've just got to make her feel. Doesn't matter if it's good, bad, angry, sad, excited, just as many emotions as possible. So here's like the advice for you. And I think this analogy works so well. You know how there's color palettes, right? Color. So like if we're going to choose the color of like our couch, for example, you know how like most people only know the basic colors like red, blue, green, yellow, whatever. And imagine a color palette where there's like 7 colors there. That's what the beta male thinks of in terms of the emotions that he wants to put inside of the girl. There's happy, excited, loved, appreciated, whatever. He only knows like a 5 positive emotions he's going to try and make her feel. The guys who are good with girls, they see sort of the color palette of the woman's emotions more like how, you know how like women and artistic people, they know color and they know the weirdest colors like fucking tangerine and cyan and violet and amber. And you know, there's so many more colors, right? That each, like instead of just yellow, there's like fucking amber and tangerine or whatever. You get my point, right? There's so many colors on this one. Each one of those is a different emotion. There's not just good and bad and sad. There's like excitement, spontaneity, anger, shock, fear. There's so many of them. The guys who are good with girls, that's the kind of impact that they have on the girl. They make her feel so many different emotions. One minute she hates him, the next minute he's like made her laugh, the next minute he's made her feel like a child, the next minute he's made her feel like a wise old woman, the next minute he's chasing her around with a towel, whipping her in the ass, the next minute he's like pinned her down and they're about to fuck. It's spiking so many different emotions that she just thinks about him all the time. That's the guy that she wants to fuck 24/7. You cannot get that girl to cheat on him. Even if they're not in a relationship, even if they're both technically single and that guy's fucking other girls, she will only ever have eyes for him. Another attractive guy, more successful guy could come and approach her and she will only have eyes for the guy who's hit every bit of the sort of emotional color palette. You know why this is so devastating for most men in general, especially older guys? Because the more of a good boyfriend and husband you become, the more like the beta male you become in this situation where you're so scared to make your woman feel anything negative about you because, you know, she'll complain to you and she'll complain to her family and whatever, that then you just try and make her feel good to avoid all these little arguments. But then she stops thinking about you through the day. She just views you as that guy who's kind of mundane, who's always there. And then when she gets a new young male co-worker who roasts her sometimes, who, you know, teases her, who surprises her and shocks her and angers her and pisses her off, her pussy starts getting wet for that new guy. I am telling you right now, this is what happens. Attraction isn't logical, it is only emotional. You attract a woman not through logical arguments like, hey, I have money, I'm attractive, hey, I am this. No. You attract her just by spiking her emotions, as many of the emotions as possible. You make her feel so stimulated. You piss her off. You say something that, like, let's say you make a joke that's kind of rude and you piss her off. Most guys would apologize and try and sort of even out all the ebbs and flows of the emotion. You, on the other hand, let her sit with you being pissed off for a while, then you send her like an Instagram reel, which is on the topic that you just spoke about, which pisses her off even more, and there's a massive spike of her being pissed off, and then suddenly you surprise her and pull a flower out of your pocket or some shit, and she's like, what the fuck? Like, you're basically like fucking drugs to this girl. That is the guy that she is obsessed over. You've tried it your way. Listen, you've tried it your way. I tried it that way as well. Hollywood movies, society, our teachers and parents, and even girls themselves told us that we should be the good boys. And what did we get for that? Did you get your dick sucked when you were a good boy? Did you get like fucking sloppy, fucking deep-throated when you were a good boy? No. That was reserved for the guys who were not pussies. That's that sort of behavior from a girl where she's got fucking bruising on her knees because of how long she sucked your cock for. Girls aren't doing that for the good boys who are playing it safe and just making them feel good. They're not even doing that for their husbands who have worked hard for 20 years to provide for them and for their family. They're not doing this stuff for the good boys, right? The thing is, look, we as guys, we're not bad people for this. We are just going to do what the girls actually want. They told us to be good boys. We will listen and we'll try it. We tried it. We didn't get anything for it. Every step you take into becoming more of the sort of bad boy asshole gets you more blowjobs. Every single step. So if the world didn't want us to be like that, they would not reward you for that. It is just as simple as that. You will give girls what they actually want. I'm telling you right now, every step you take into becoming more like Adonis rather than Jeffrey, you will get way more primal attraction from girls. You will. And you'll see this every step of the way and you'll be thinking, yep, this stuff's all right. And everything that I learned about dating before I ever watched Hamza's videos was completely and utterly bullshit. By the actual definition of like, it did not get me any results with girls. I lost every girl who I had a crush on, every girl who I had a bit of a connection to. I lost every single one of them because I followed the advice of everyone else. When I started to watch Hamza's videos, when I started to act more like Adonis would, that's when every single time I was into a girl, I ended up getting more and more and more from her. And the connection was better and she liked me more. It's a win-win for everyone. Imagine this point. Your track record doesn't mean anything. Guys think in logical terms when it comes to dating. We think that if you meet a girl and you provide for her and you work hard and you make her feel good and you buy things for her and you make her feel so safe and you look after her, that even 10 years, 20 years down the line, she will love you as much and she will fuck you as much. That's not true. What happens to almost every single marriage? The girl, would you get the thinking? What happens to almost every single marriage? The woman ends up fucking the guy less and the guy gets miserable. Why? The guy, if you think about it, the longer a marriage is, the more the man has invested into it. The more, in a traditional marriage, you know, he's been working, he's been providing, he's been basically like using his life force to just sort of like make money to give to the family, to the woman and stuff, right? Let's say in a traditional marriage. But why then are so many women ending their marriages? Why are so many women cheating and getting divorces? You know, most divorces are by women, by the way. Almost every, you know, you've heard like divorce rate is super high. Almost every divorce that happens is the woman initiating the divorce, and the small percentage of divorces that happen when the man's initiating the divorce often happen because the man's fucking like pulling his hair out because of how much the woman's basically like ruining the relationship. Basically, divorces happen basically because of women. Now you should ask yourself, okay, why? The longer a marriage, the more the man in a traditional marriage has invested into it. Why are women not giving him more? He's giving more and more and more. It's another year of him working full time to provide for the family, sacrificing his sort of solo life where he can fuck as many girls as possible, which is his biological imperative. He's sacrificing all this. He's been a good boy. Why are men not getting more sex the longer a relationship occurs? Think about it. Technically, that's what should happen. If you being a good boy, if we worked with logic, the longer a relationship, the more sex that should happen, the more she should be horny for you. But that's basically never what happens, barring like, you know, the random relationship that was shit to begin with, then it gets better and the guy, you know, gets some fucking balls and gets in shape, whatever. But in general, the longer a relationship, the less sex that occurs. You know, the most is at the start and it goes down and down and down. But it should be linear, like if it was logical. But it's not. Guys think if they make their woman feel good and safe and secure and they keep working hard and providing, that then she will treat them better. But that's not actually how it works. Your track record means nothing. The only thing that matters in terms of getting a girl to basically want to suck your cock is just how many emotions you spike. And the longer you get into a relationship, often the less emotions will spike because of more, you know, you've become more familiar, more consistent. She knows your habits. She knows you're not going out and fucking other girls, what she doesn't know when you first start dating. You've invested so much, so now you've lost all the sort of mystery. She's seen your sort of unattractive parts, like, you know, she's seen you super sick and she's seen the shit that you've left in the toilet one day because you live together now and whatever. And she's seen you 24/7. She knows what time you goes to sleep. All the attraction's gone. All the mystery's gone. You've stopped risking it. You've stopped risking being able to sort of upset her, shock her, excite her, whatever. You've just become a mundane, good boy husband. And the relationship goes down even though everyone told you it would go up. You've seen this. Maybe even this happened to your own father. He provided, he worked hard. He just worked shit job after shit job for you and your family and your mother. Now that you're old enough, you've probably worked some shit jobs. Imagine doing that every day of the week. Imagine doing that for 20 years straight to provide for your mother who isn't even sucking. I don't even want to finish this sentence. You get my point. Could you imagine that? The fucking... Man, we need a word for like the father, the husband sacrifice. It's what built civilizations. It's the reason why your mother's alive. It's the reason why you're alive. It's the reason why it's like society's alive, is the father's sacrifice. And our mothers treated our fathers worse the more he sacrificed for her and for the family. If attraction was logical, your mother would have had even more and more sex and appreciation for your father, but it actually was inversely correlated. It went down. This goes to show that what men generally believe about relationships, and especially about sex, is completely wrong. You need to flip it on its head. You need to start brand new with a blank slate and understand that you being a good boy, you texting the girl for ages, is the equivalent of your father who worked 10, 20, 30 years basically without appreciation. Now, by all means, we can nod our heads and say, yeah, sweet, he did a good job, but he wasn't actually appreciated for it. You, like, mark my fucking words. I'm going to tell you something right now, which is one of my personal beliefs, and I promise, just keep this in your mind, because you're going to keep saying this to yourself. Write this down as well. You get the best treatment from women before you invest and commit to them. I am telling you right now, for basically every woman you will meet in your life, you get the best treatment from her at the start of the relationship before you invest more, before you commit to her, before you get into a relationship with her. When you are, especially this is if, for example, you're fucking her outside of a relationship, you met her, you hook up with her, like the second time you see her, the second date, whatever. I'm telling you right now, you've already got everything there. The longer you start seeing her and the more you commit to her, the worse her sort of investment, her treatment, her appreciation in you will get. You literally get the best of a woman before you get into like a monogamous, committed relationship with her. And this isn't even just, it's me angry at like modern women. This is just the construct of women as a whole, just in general. The only thing basically that made committing to a woman worthwhile was that she would have your children. But now it's like, bro, a lot of young people, like yeah, we want to have children, but not yet, maybe in our 30s. So if you're fucking years and years away from that, you shouldn't even be thinking about wife and children right now. You should just be focused on your own growth and just experiencing life and having fun and stuff. And so if that's the case, I'm telling you right now, don't think that if you invest into this girl, let's say, you make her your girlfriend, that then she's going to treat you better. She'll often, honestly, I know this sounds worse, but she'll often treat you worse. In a relationship, the man often gives more of himself. In a relationship, the woman starts withdrawing herself, especially if she's the type of girl who you could fuck outside of a relationship to begin with. So this is why attraction isn't logical, because you'd think, okay, if we invest more, we would get more from her, but that's often inversely correlated. This is why, for example, a guy whose track record is so good, they got married and he supported the family, but then she divorces him or cheats on him 20 years later. Because it's not your track record, like, the logical argument of, oh, you've been such a good person for 10 years or for 6 months when you've been texting her, being so sweet and supporting her through all the pains that she's been through. It's not that causes her to want to get on her knees till her fucking kneecaps bruise while she's sucking you off. It's literally just emotional. How much emotion can you spike inside of her? You can provide, or let's say in a realistic example for us, you can look after her and text her and call her whenever she's sad and she's going through some illness or whatever for 6 months straight, 12 months straight, and she's giving you one kiss on the cheek. She can meet a guy and in the same fucking 3-hour space, because he triggered the amount of emotion she needed, she ends up fucking deep throating him and getting fucking pounded by him and he's not even helped her as much as you have. It's all, for women, it's all just about emotions. You just have to understand this. When you first understand this, you'll have a bit of a hatred towards women, which you shouldn't do, because this is just how they biologically are. They've been made to be like this. End stage of like being good with girls and becoming like, a bit of a player. And the end stage is understanding you can never hate girls for any of the stuff that we talk about here, because this is just who they are. You should hate the world for selling you the lie that women are the same as men, because it's fucking bullshit. Men are logical, men are loyal, women are emotional, and they're actually supposed to be biologically disloyal. They're supposed to be. That's not even a sexist argument. That's actually the truth. So then you need to just think, okay, live through a rational mindset rather than the brainwashing of society, movies, and even some religion arguments as well. Live through a rational argument, open your eyes and see the world and the sort of dating market for what it is, and think to yourself, okay, with logic, if I invested into a girl, she should treat me better, but that's not how it works. I've opened my eyes, I'm observing the world and realizing that actually when you invest into a woman these days, you don't actually get better treatment for her if she's the type of girl you can already fuck before you get into a relationship anyway. It's all just about, are you spiking her emotions? Imagine that color palette. How many of those emotions, let's say there's 100 different emotions, how many of them have you spiked inside of her? If the answer's like 3, like, oh yeah, I've probably made her feel good and safe and happy, okay, she's literally going to position you in beta male category. So I'm giving you permission, because this is gonna sound really weird. I'm gonna give you permission. I'm giving you permission to make some women feel angry and pissed off and jealous, because that will cause them to want to fuck you more. And since they'll be happier overall with you rather than not thinking about you at all if you're just a good boy, technically this is also what they want as well. They say that they want the nice guy, but they don't get with him. They yearn for the guy who is a bit of a toxic asshole. It's just the fucking truth. It's just the truth. For a while on my YouTube channel, I used to only give like good boy advice. And the reason why I kind of changed my advice in the last few months and I've started talking a bit more about these dark things is because I realized I was talking about the good boy things only for myself, in the sense that my brand felt so much more wholesome if I just said like, yeah, be nice guys and stuff, but it was doing a disservice to you. I'm taking a hit to my sort of brand image when I tell you more of these kind of sexist things, these toxic, dark things, because now I seem like a bad person, but this is actually for your benefit. I can't be like everyone else on YouTube who's trying to lie to you and say like, oh yeah, just be nice to girls and just treat them like a human being. People will say that as if it's like, oh, it's a mind-breaking thing. No, you've got to, of course, treat every fucking human like a human, but you've got to treat women very differently than you treat men, 100%. When it comes to wanting her to have sex with you, right? Friendship with a girl is, okay, relatively same with friendship as a guy, okay, fine. You see a girl in the gym, you can fist bump her and ask her what she's training today, just like you can with a guy, but in terms of sexual attraction, I am telling you, the game is so different than you've been told before. The game is what you've watched today. Maybe you should rewatch this entire fucking video. It's all emotional. You've got to get used to making her feel so many emotions. So you've got to give yourself permission to sometimes piss her off, sometimes make her jealous, sometimes stand up for yourself. When she's going on a rant about like, oh, she hates when guys do this, look her in the eyes and almost chuckle like she's a little girl and say, I do that. Just say that. Stand up for your fucking self. Hold your frame. When she says, oh, this is what I want, look her in the eyes and go like, oh, okay, that's not what I want at all. Maybe you should go then. Say some shit like that. And I guarantee within 10 seconds she'll look back to you and say, oh, well, that's not actually what I want. Actually, that's a long-term thing. I'm happy to just have a bit of fun right now. You've got to stand up for your fucking self and make her feel like some of these emotions that girls have made you feel all this time anyway. But most importantly, I think this is a weird righteous thing to do, because if you don't do the things I'm talking about, she won't even think of you and she won't even get the sort of happiness boost that she gets from like basically falling in love with a guy anyway. So in a weird way, even though what I'm suggesting you do sounds a bit mean, this is actually what causes the sort of love and attraction and even the sort of happiness, infatuation of a girl in the first place. This is what they want and what they need to be into a guy. It is not, look, some fucking dork will react to this video at some point and he'll say, oh, Hamza's dating advice is so dark. Trust me when I say you are not moral or honorable for being a good guy who gets divorced. You are not a fucking honorable guy for being the good, boring, nice guy, husband, who's a nice boy, and then his wife fucking cheats and leaves on him. That is not an honorable thing at all, to be like a dry pussy fucking inducer. That is not an honorable thing. Some guy will be watching this thinking, oh, well, this advice is so dark. It's not a fucking honorable moral thing to be shit with girls and let's say, you're the good boy husband. It's not an honorable thing, because then your wife will fucking leave and you gain nothing. You need to do what it takes to keep a woman sexually attracted to you, whether right now you're single or let's say you get into a relationship, for as long as fucking possible. It's not an honorable thing to turn off the thing that turns her sexual excitement on. That's not a fucking flex. That's a bad thing, because then your relationship gets screwed up. If anything, it's more honorable to stay the kind of version of you that keeps her pussy wet, which isn't the nice boy who's consistent and who's all safe. It's the guy who's more mysterious. It's the guy who in modern society will be seen like a little bit of a toxic asshole, and she'll complain to her friends and her friends will say, oh yeah, you're an asshole and whatever. But her pussy's wet for you and she would never fucking cheat on you because she's obsessed with you. That's the fucking real honorable thing. right? There is no honor in being a fucking cuck. There's no moral in being a good boy husband who's worked so hard and now he gets divorced and his children don't have a fucking father figure anymore. There's no fucking honor or moral in this. Look at your fucking own father. Look at the fathers of your friends. There's no honor in being the dad who's like doesn't even live in the fucking home anymore and his ex-wife has got like a new boyfriend every 6 months. There's no fucking honor in being the good guy who can't make pussy wet. There's not. Don't listen to any of these fucking dorks who will disagree with my advice and their wives are all dry for them. Don't you fucking listen to any of these fucking guys. It's not a fucking flex to be a good boy. You get nothing as a good boy, and worst of all, this is not even about your own selfish pleasure. Let's say your future family, if you're a good boy, will be taken away from you and your children will be risen without a fucking good father figure, their own biological father figure in the home. There's no honor in being a fucking beta male Jeffrey little cuck. There's no honor in being a good boy who's scared of making the girl feel jealous. There's no honor in that. Don't you fall for the argument you'll see of all these PC little left-wing skinny neck guys that I could fucking snap in one fucking move. There's no fucking honor in being a good boy. Don't you believe it? We all believed that when we were younger. What did you get for believing everyone else other than me? What did you get? Nothing. You fucking obsessed over a girl like a bitch for fucking months while she was sucking someone else's cock. That's what the modern advice got you. Every step you take into following my advice gets you more and more results. Every single fucking step. I may be wrong about like 10 things, but I'm right about 1,000. Every fucking step you take into following my videos gets you the real world results. It just feels a bit unnatural at first. It feels a bit like anxiety inducing at first. It almost feels a bit wrong just because of all the advice we've been told. But you try everything that I tell you when it comes to dating or self-improvement, whatever it is, and you always get the result that I've promised you.
I had to interrupt. Can I tell them?
Go.
I had to interrupt because I've been working with this guy for nearly 8 months now. One of the golden rule he has is called just do what you want. Being with his full-time video guy, I'm having so much fun, but I have to jump in the camera. I have to say to you, I'm getting emotional. This golden rule changed my life. Being at the gym, talking to a girl that he, the bang 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 thing that he did, boom 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 he did. I say to the girl, how does it feel to be with a man that just do what he want? And the girl always say this. They literally bite their lips. They're like, you know what, it's pretty uncomfortable, but it's hot. And this golden rule completely changed my life with myself, also with my relationship. Fuck the nice guy thing. You can be good friend with your boys, but this golden rule, just do what you want, changed my fucking life. Fucking go to the link down below, motherfuckers.
Thank you for that. Yeah, man. It is my honor to be here in front of you and to give you the lessons that I had to learn myself. You have me. I don't have a Hamza. There's no Hamza. There's no other Hamza out there for me. I've had to learn all these with trials and tribulations and pick up scars along the way. I've had girls, 10, 20, 30 naked girls in my bedroom, separately, where I fucked it up and I didn't know how to escalate. I didn't know how to talk. I've had 10, 50, 100 girls that I've been talking to that I've had such a connection with that I never even got with because I followed the advice of other people. You've got me to give you the shortcut. I don't have a Hamza. That's why I'm so fucking glad to be able to have this platform to give you the kind of advice that I didn't get myself and I had to learn just through hundreds of mistakes. When you do trust me enough, top link in the description is Library of Adonis. That's my platform. That's like my social media platform for guys who are on self-improvement. If you want more of my advice, you want more of my education, you want like the community that I've built up of guys who are just like us, a place where you belong, that's where you can go to. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.